welcome to Between Us, where we have the most intimate conversation at Proof of Talk. We're here with
Michaël van de Poppe, Dutchie.
Hey, well, it's good to see you again.
See you.
Long-time friends.
Yeah.
So tell me, how's your stay been in Paris so far?
Well, pretty well. We've come here for podcast recordings. So we had Tom Lee, which was like one of the names that I really wanted to have. It's good. It's a great venue, and you can still see that the vibe is here unless the markets are down.
Yeah, tough on the markets, but I imagine Tom was still bringing some
Like 9 billion.
some bullish news. And so just quickly jumping into it, you've had so many top people, not just here, but on your podcast. What's something that all of them have in common?
They're almost always wrong in the short term.
Okay.
Like if someone has a long-term vision, that's most likely going to play out. But in the short term, they have absolutely no clue. Like Paul has been on with the banana zone. He has been wrong. I've had some other Bitcoiners on the show that actually were saying that the markets were bottoming earlier or whatsoever, or that we were going higher. Nobody has a clue. In the short term. In the long term, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, and I guess they're not afraid to be wrong. You got to take a
They're fine with it, and they know that everybody forgets anyways.
Yeah. Talking about taking a stand, we have some quick fire questions for you here. Well, people want to know your opinion. You're pretty big on social. So, altcoins. Yeah, a lot of debates about them. Are they dead forever, or is this the highest risk reward we're ever going to see for them?
It's actually, I think, the best asset to invest in. And you can already see it with some, like the most bigger ones, Hyperliquid, Zcash, Near. Those are the ones attracting the value at this point. And I think it's going to trickle down into other altcoins at this stage. I think it's actually the best asset to invest in.
Yeah, I'm interested to pick your brains on that later, but I'm probably with you, hopefully. We're at one of the best crypto conferences in the world. There's always a lot of debate on crypto Twitter, whether they bring value or not. What do you think? Genuine engine for the industry or lacking ROI?
Both, actually. I think, like, for me, most of the conferences are lacking ROI. But I get it when you're an institution and you come to a conference, it's the point to actually get the context of all the other ones. But most of the communication is going online. So you don't really necessarily need to go to a conference. So I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah. You're Switzerland in that one. You sat on the fence. You need to get the Jolyonchain.
I don't know. Like, I don't have a specific answer to that one.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, and final one. Bitcoin year end. It's been a bit of a tumultuous year. Are we ending closer to all-time high, or are we going into Goblin Town at 30K?
Well, it's easy. It's like 67K right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be way higher from this standpoint. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. That there's still some bullish sentiment out there. All right, let's get more broad now. You obviously run a liquid fund. You're investing in a ton of very, very risk-on assets. Talk us through that process of how you think about risk rewards and how you might pick some of these altcoins.
The thing is that back in the day, I was actually trying to invest into protocols and only focused on the big return. But if you design a strategy based on risk or risk appetite, it's way more easier to actually start doing some actual returns. So what I mean by that is that most of the time it's better to not be in the markets unless you have clear conviction. So I've got the public altcoin portfolio too. Earlier this year, I started to invest into Near at some point to see, I saw an actual clear conviction. I bet on it, but I'm also happy to be taking profits when it goes up 100 or 200%.
Yeah.
I think it completely switched, and you see with institutions in the fund as well, everybody's looking for market neutral strategies, or everybody's trying to get some yield on their Bitcoin or ETH. Nobody's looking for the 100x anymore, just a general return in the market. And I think that's more professional and more mature. And I think once you start defining it based on risk, it's going to reward you way more in the end, especially if you compound those returns.
Yeah, and I guess, double clicking on that, conviction's a hard thing to gain in this market. Where do you look for that?
Well, I interviewed Tom Lee to hear a story about Ethereum to get some conviction. No, I mean, Near was a very standard approach. Like the token kept going down while the revenue was going up massive.
Yeah, the intents and product market fit.
Hyperliquid, same story. Went down 50%, but it kept growing in terms of annual revenue.
Yeah.
So those are very straightforward plays. Now we start to get into, okay, so AI started to become bigger. There are more AI protocols. People start to figure out, okay, we need decentralized compute. So there are Render, Zcash, all those protocols that are still down there that are going to attract more money. Even for Ethereum. Ethereum is not a value accrual through revenue, but it's a value accrual through TVL and having stable coins on there. I think Tom Lee compared it to land, have property on there. Ethereum is land, and all the apps on there are the properties. So it's kind of a city, and you have to have the infrastructure layer. So it's going to get there, but it takes a little bit of time. And I think at this point, a lot of those tokens and protocols are mispriced, and it's just gonna catch up quite quickly.
Yeah, and people are still working out what sort of models to value these things on.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense for most of them. It's more or less a belief or a narrative or like
A little bit of hopium in there.
yeah, and a future sort of prediction that you make out of it. Like Near and Hype are very easy to do so, but Zcash, no point. It's just privacy and a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon.
So switching it up then, content, New Era podcast has gone strength to strength. Talk me through starting that. What has been some of the most difficult bits of getting that off the ground?
Most difficult part is actually getting good guests.
Yeah.
Like we have been working for, I think, in a year to get Lynn Alden on.
Yeah.
We have been working for 1.5 years to get Michael Saylor on.
Yeah.
Once you get those, it's a very easy chain reaction. But the first steps are really difficult. And for me personally, to just have a conversation and let it go for like an hour and to just, it's a different vibe.
Yeah. And you have interviewed some of the most prominent people in the space, whether it's the founder of Chainlink or other people. What have you learned the most from having these sort of in-depth conversations with these people?
Well, they are all like a Stoic. That's what I figured out. Like most of them are reading Nietzsche or like all those philosophers and are really down to earth when it comes to their approach. Like Sergey is just a big example, but Stani is the same. They're all super friendly, normal people trying to build a solution that makes the world a little bit better. And that's what I try to make out of it. They don't focus on things they don't have in control. They focus on things that they do have in control and try to maximize best as possible.
Definitely a good way to look at it.
Yeah, it's just fascinating. I actually asked Sergey a few things on philosophers and stuff, and he just rambled for like 15 minutes talking about Nietzsche and his philosophy, and I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm on Amazon straight after this on the philosophy section. So you've been around quite a long time in crypto Twitter terms. You've been vocal in the bull, vocal in the bear, which is a very rare thing. You've nearly amassed 1 million followers, but if you had to start again today and get your first 10K, what kind of strategy would you be deploying for people listening?
I think it's two things. First of all, one of the issues we have right now is we don't understand the algorithms. So when you look at Twitter, Elon Musk has tweeted the entire new code for Phoenix, which is like the ranking system of Twitter. Deploy that into any LLM and then start building a strategy out of that to optimize your content. And secondly, stop copy pasting others and create authentic content. And if you start doing that, you are either getting hated or loved. Both of them are fine.
You need a bit of both.
You need a bit of both, but it's something you can rely on. And if you're copying others, you need to continue copying, and there's no value in there.
Yeah.
So try to create the value within something that you believe in from the inner. And if you do that, then the rest will follow through.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I start again.
Yeah, it's brilliant advice. And talk to us about like the difficulty, people sometimes think crypto Twitter is a toxic place.
Yeah.
What are the things people don't see of running a account that large?
It's opening doors that I never figured that would open for me. Like for instance, if I started 9 years ago, 10 years ago, I wouldn't imagine me doing a podcast with Michael Saylor at some point. Or like having lunch with Sergey from Chainlink, or having Stani in my office. It's opening doors for me that otherwise would never open. So that's kind of the backstory of like having or running an account.
Yeah.
And it's also the rewarding part, like just hearing stories from people that if I'm right on something, doesn't happen that often, but if I'm right on something, that they say, well done, and I've learned something out of it. So it builds relationships that you otherwise would never have.
Yeah. And how relationship based do you think the Web3 industry is?
It's still the same. It's like a mini community just traveling the world. It's just the same, and I think it won't change at all. It's becoming a bit more institutional, but even the actual Web3 builders are still connecting with each other. And I think it's just going to be a bridge between the two.
100%. So zooming out now, 10 years from now, it's 2036, Forbes writing about MN Capital. what's the headline that you want to be seeing there?
That's a difficult one. I think at that point, most of our companies won't be run by humans at all. It's going to be AI agents doing everything. But I hope back in that period that they will write about us for the good returns that we have and the good investments that we have been doing, and that we were visionaries for the things that we expected to come.
That's great.
That's at least what I hope.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to read it. Michael, you're an absolute stalwart of the industry. You're a good friend. You've been doing all the right things for so long. I'm so pleased to see all the success. So thanks so much
Thank you
for
very
being
much
on.
for having me, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.